What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Project Cars 2. Today I'm going to be doing a GT4 showdown on the SUGO racetrack in Japan. I've never driven this racetrack, but I thought I'd take some GT4 cars to this track to see which ones would go the quickest. Remember that I only did this in a certain amount of laps, so I could go quicker with these cars given more time. In last place, in 8th, we have the KTM X-Bow GT4 with a 133.900. Now this car, to be honest, I expected this car to be not particularly quick. Kind of like in a straight line, but I expected it to be fairly quickly accelerating and pretty good around the corners, but to be honest it really wasn't. It was alright around the corners, but it was nothing special. Acceleration didn't seem anything better than anything else, and yeah, I mean the top speed just didn't feel like it was there either, so altogether the KTM X-Bow was actually a really sluggish car. I didn't even know that there was a GT4 variant of this car, but it turns out there is. So that's a cool thing, I suppose. It's nice to have it in this game. Never seen it in any other game before. But yeah, the KTM X-Bow GT4 was actually not particularly quick. It was the last car that I drove, and yeah, personally, not my cup of tea. I don't think I'll really be driving this in any championships or anything. It's just not particularly quick, I don't think. In 7th place, we have the Toyota GT-86 GT4 with a 133.754. Now, this was the same again, really. It was one of the least powerful cars. Some cars had over 400 horsepower, some cars had a little bit under. I know the KTM had under, about 385 or something. I think the Toyota also had under 400 horsepower. Obviously, once again, it's one of the lighter cars, but I don't know if it's this track or what, but yeah, the Toyota GT-86 did not go particularly quick either. You know, this track has quite a few fairly technical sections. It also has a couple of fairly, decent acceleration zones and a couple of fairly decent length straights as well. So it really tests all types of cars. It's why I wanted to choose this circuit, because it really does test all aspects of a car out. And yeah, the Toyota GT-86 just didn't quite get up there with the other cars. In 6th place, we have the Ford Mustang RTR GT4 with a 133.417. This one was quite interesting, really, because obviously the Mustang it's a pretty powerful car. It's one of the more powerful ones in the GT4 category. There are two versions of the Mustang on the list. This is the newer version, and surprisingly, it's actually the slower version, which I was quite interested to find out. I thought this would have been better than the other version. I believe this one actually has less power than the other one, if I can remember that correctly, but is also lighter. I think. I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but yeah, or it's either that or this one's just slower top speed. But yeah, the Mustang drove okay. It was fairly nice to drive. However, it just couldn't quite get the speed up there with a 133.417. Yeah, like I said, fairly nice to drive. However, the speed apparently wasn't there on this circuit. Maybe on a bit of a quicker circuit, just a all-round quicker circuit, maybe the Mustang would do better. In 5th place, we have the BMW M3 GT4 with a 133.400. Very, very close to the Mustang here, only just beating it by 0.017 of a second. So I mean, it's well under, half a tenth a second quicker than the Mustang. Yeah, it's alright. It's okay. From what I remember, this thing had rather strange gears. The gear ratio wasn't quite, I don't think, suited towards this track. So once again, I think maybe a longer, kind of faster track, this and the Mustang would probably be quicker. They'd probably be fairly far up the leaderboard. But on this specific track of SUGO, or however you say it, I've got no idea. The BMW wasn't particularly quick, getting in 5th place. Still not a terrible time. This is kind of the sort of area we see most of the cars are fairly similar in times, but yeah, the BMW M3 does not get too far up. 4th place, we have the other Mustang, the Ford Mustang Boss 302R, with a 133.180. Yeah, I mean, this car was just better than the other Mustang. I drove this one first because that's the way it came up in the list, and yeah, I mean, the Mustang Boss was good. I've driven this car in Project Cars. I believe this is the exact same GT4 car that was in the first game, so I've driven it in there. And yeah, I mean, it's a good car. It has plenty of speed, has good acceleration. The handling for a Mustang is actually pretty damn good. Saying that, Mustangs these days are actually pretty nice to drive. So no complaining there. But yeah, it was good. I actually did prefer this one over the other one. I prefer the looks of the RTR Mustang, but I think to drive, the Boss 302 is a little bit nicer to drive, which is interesting really, you know, the older car of the two, but there we have it. That is how it turned out with that one. In third place, we have the Ginetta G55 GT4 with a 132.380. This was another car which was, you know, fairly down on power, fairly light. However, this one actually did pretty well. On the most part, the lighter and least powerful cars didn't go as well here, but the Ginetta was, I guess, a different story, with a 132.380. Pretty decent time. It was the second car I drove as well, so I'm sure I could get more time out of it if I drove it again. It was quite nice to drive, it handled nicely. It wasn't actually that much down on power, to be honest, so it was fairly, you know, similar to other cars, but yeah, the Ginetta was good. Once again, I don't think the Ginetta is the most interesting car, you know, looks wise, but I mean, they do handle very well, and if you can get them around a circuit, you know, relatively well, they do drive nicely. You can get them around a circuit pretty quick. That is the same for Sugo here today. In second place, we have the Aston Martin Vantage GT4 with a 131.464. This thing was really good. I do like the Aston Martin Vantage. Really nice car. I like the look of it, and it does drive very well. This car really had a great balance between speed, acceleration, and handling. It just all was really good. I really liked how it drove. I said that I was gonna say drived, but then realized that's not English. Yeah, it was. I really liked how it drove. Also, I might sound a bit sick right now. I think I'm starting to get a bit of a sore throat or something, a bit of a cold, so I might sound a bit nasally right now. But yeah, sorry about that, but nothing I can really do there. But yeah, the Aston Martin was good. Like I said, I love Aston Martins. Really good to drive. Once again, maybe, you know, it's hard to know if this car would be better on a quicker circuit, really, because, you know, these last couple of cars just seem to be good on anything, really. I mean, this is a really weird leaderboard. I would have thought more handling based cars would be higher up, but apparently not. However, in first place we have the Porche Cayman GT4 with a 130.814. I do love the Porche Cayman. It's a very nice car, and maybe it's a little bit biased, not really biased, but maybe it's a little bit unfair here, because this is the only GT4 car I had driven previously prior to making this video. I'm currently doing the GT4 Championship in the career mode, and I'm driving the Porsche, so I've already had a bit of hands-on experience with the car. It was the first car I drove in this, and it goes the quickest, much like we saw with the GT3 Showdown with the Ferrari going quickest. First car again going quickest, but yeah, I mean, this car it drives really nicely. It's just got good handling, it's got good speed. All round, the Porche Cayman is a great car. I do love the Cayman GT4, the road version and everything. Just a really good car. Really nice looking, and yeah, drives very nicely. But anyway, that is it for this GT4 Showdown. Could you guys please tell me in the comments down below, what Showdown do you want me to do next? Do you want me to do GT1 cars? Do you want me to do, you know, a specific type of road car? Anything that you'd like to see a bit of a showdown just like this in the future, on any category of car that has a decent amount of cars, you know, at least like 5 or 6 cars in the category. That'd be really appreciated, and yeah, I'll hopefully get on to the ones that people suggest. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.